way where best to play him?
He can really play all over the map. He can play in the slot, field safety. He can play in the boundary. We played him at dime before. He just understands the defense. He can tackle. He can blitz. He has versatility in coverage. So he's a guy we like to move around. With some of the injuries that we've had and the lack of depth in the slot now, it's just hard not to keep him in the slot right now. He just is so valuable in that spot, from the ability to play man, from the ability to help on the perimeter screen and RPO game, understands all the zones. So right now he's been doing a great job in the slot. When we get healthier, the plan is hopefully we can get back to moving him around more.
What reassures you that this pass rush is ready for Illinois' quarterback?
Every week's a completely different week. You have to forget about the good things that you did, learn from the bad things, and you have to attack these guys completely different. So we just try to just improve every single week, whatever the pass rush plan is that day, whether it's attacking personnel, protections, we just have to make sure we execute to the best of our ability.
Devin was talking about rushing with vision. So can you elaborate on what that means and how you kind of preach that to the guys?
Yeah, just being disciplined with our pass rush lanes. Like, the more you start affecting the quarterback, the more quarterbacks start to scramble and extend play. So it's making sure that our pass rush lanes are good. They know who has the two-way go, who has to stay on this side, who has contain. If I go inside, who's going to loop and wrap? It all has to be coordinated.
What would you say has been the most encouraging part of the beginning of the season for the pass rush?
Just the execution of the pass rush plan. I know you obviously want production, you want stats, but we go back and we watch, okay, what were we supposed to do and were we executing it? And sometimes there's small things that don't necessarily end up being a sack or anything like that, but we can see that they're doing what we're asking them to do. I feel like it's getting cleaner and cleaner each week.
What have you liked out of the run defense so far? I know that's been a big emphasis for improvement.
I feel like they've done a good job recognizing sets. I feel like they've done a good job with TFLs. Fits have been cleaner. It's just about consistency now. Like, every run that's it, we have a clip of us being in the exact same call, stuff in that run. So it's about us just being consistent and doing what we're supposed to do every play.
I know you emphasize consistency and communication. How come these coverage busts have continued to pop up?
It's completely unacceptable. The one this past week wasn't a bust. It was just the beater for that coverage. All the other ones, it's completely unacceptable, especially playing DB. You have to be on the same page every single time. And I think Kamari having the headset has helped with that, as far as just the defensive backs getting the call in quicker, and Dez being able to just focus on the guys up front. And I feel like since he's had that, that's improved.
Cam changed his last name last week. If it's personal, that's fine, but can you give us any idea as to why that happened?
It's personal. I'll let Cam address it.
Okay.
Have you seen Des progress through the last 4 games?
Yeah, when the first game, I always forget because I've seen him out here in practice so much. That was really his first game starting at inside backer ever, because he didn't play it in high school. So there's a lot of things that he does good, then there's some things that's like, okay, like, you should have done this, and once he sees it the first time you correct it, he doesn't make the same mistakes twice. So I feel like each week he's been a little bit more instinctive. You've seen him play a little bit faster, and the biggest thing with him, we're just looking for him to keep on just taking steps each week, because if he does that, he has an extremely high ceiling.
How nice is it to have Eric Gentry healthy and playing?
It is nice, having him out there. Again, he's a guy like Kamari where he can just do so many different things, and he affects the game in a lot of different ways, whether it's TFLs in the run game, rushing the quarterback. We can use him in different ways on third down. He can cover tight ends. He can do pretty much everything but play corner.
Have you ever seen anyone like him?
No. The closest thing might be like Kyle Hamilton, just because the size and the length. But you have a guy like EG who can play on the edge. He can play inside backer. He's probably one of our best pass rushers on the team. His versatility is just a little bit different.
There's that play Saturday where Jakeem had broken through the line, basically before they'd even given the handoff. It seems like his get off is just kind of on another level.
Very good. He does a good job anticipating the snap. I think he does a good job understanding, okay, when can I take chances, when can I not? But when he gets off the ball on time, it's definitely different than anyone else out there.
I was gonna say, how uncommon is that, just that young to have like that specific skill? Is that something that is natural, or something?
I haven't been around a lot of defensive linemen like him. You know, a lot of the guys I've been around when they were juniors or seniors. So I go back to just when I was in high school, or just recruiting high school kids. No kids that we recruit or that I played with could do what he does.
Illinois has a running back that's 6'3", 250.
Yes.
What comes with that challenge?
I mean, he's very big. He runs hard. He's good in pass protection. It's just game tackling. You know, we need to attack the ball. And the thing that's challenging about them is they have 3 different backs, and all their backs have different skill sets. You know, they can run the exact same play with all those backs. And one back's going to bounce it, one back's going to go here, the other back's going to go there. So we have to recognize who's in the game and what their play style is.
Coach, how much emphasis have you put on recovery, especially not only traveling this weekend, but playing such an early game as well?
A ton, you know, and it's also coming from Coach True, Coach Riley, and Chad. But recovery's been huge as far as how they change the schedule, stuff that we're doing after practice, how we travel, getting sleep. So it's something that we emphasize to these guys every day.
Let's do one more.
With the cornerback group, what have you liked so far, and then what's kind of the next step?
I've liked they've been out there competing. You know, there's been some guys who haven't played at all, so it's good to see those guys get snaps in games. And, you know, you just have to live through some of the growing pains. You know, I was a first-year starter at corner at one point, so I get it. And my biggest thing is, again, just keep on improving each week. And we feel like, you know, it's a competitive group, but we're still just waiting for, you know, guys to kind of separate themselves.
Thank you, Coach Lynn.